we would like to welcome you to Audio Suplex Live, brought to you by the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, how we doing? This is Travis, Audio Suplex Live. Want to give a brief introduction to what we're doing today. So WWE Payback was Sunday night. And then basically because of the way our schedules kind of worked out this week, we weren't really able to do a proper show on Thursday like live how we normally would. So we won't really have an opportunity to kind of go over our thoughts from the show and our thoughts from the pay-per-view with you guys. So what we arranged is we're going to do an audio-only kind of thing here tonight. It's going to be me. I'm going to Skype in Corey here in a little bit here, and then we're going to kind of just go over the card and just kind of real briefly give you guys our thoughts on the card and kind of give you our thoughts on the show. So give me 1 second here. We'll get Corey in.
Mr. Travis Moore.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on?
Nothing. I just, sitting here recording, figured we might want to talk some wrestling, so...
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah, so what did you initially, just right off the bat, what did you think of Payback?
Minus the Bray Wyatt Randy Orton match, I thought it was pretty entertaining pay-per-view overall. Some of the matches didn't go quite as everyone anticipated they would go, which I think made it a little bit more exciting, actually, a little less predictable, which is always nice.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was like anything but predictable. And obviously we'll get into it a little bit with our picks that we made and everything like that. But, yeah, we were kind of all over the place with some of the results on this one.
Yeah. The Bray Wyatt Randy Orton match was definitely the low point, I feel.
And we'll get into this a little bit later when we talk about it properly. I liked it up until they actually got to the arena.
Oh, I thought the whole thing was garbage.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it too much.
Well, we'll kibosh that for right now until we get back around to it. Let's start off with the pre-show match, just real quick, get this out of the way, with Enzo Amore, Big Cass taking on Gallows and Anderson for what feels like probably the umpteenth time at this point.
Oh yeah, it could have gone either way, but very pretty much pointless. They didn't have anything on the line here. Nothing crazy to talk about, really. No
real number one contendership or anything. As a matter of fact, curiously enough, on the pre-show, they had the Golden Truth backstage with the Hardys, basically kind of announcing their intentions to be the number one contender post the tag team title match later on in the night. So there was really...
I don't see that happening, but...
I mean, I don't know. You got on the blue brand, you got... who's your number one? Breezango is your number one contenders, and about maybe a couple weeks ago, they were kind of at the same spot in the card, so I don't know,
I'm thinking we're going to see a rematch between Sheamus and Cesaro and the Hardy Boys. But
I agree.
So maybe they'll get a match, but nothing. I don't expect them to take the belts by any means.
No. Maybe they'll get like a match tonight or something like that. I don't think they've... Which, by the way, if you're listening to this, we're recording this on Monday. I don't know exactly when it's going to make its way up, but... So yeah.
I watched the first 15 minutes of Raw.
Oh, anything good happen or no?
It was like a women's standoff. All the other women met in the ring. Alexa Bliss was celebrating her win.
As she should.
They all started fighting.
As she should. So.
Yeah. So, all right, so the kickoff match, meh. Let's move on to the main card.
Okay, so curiously enough, we start the main card with the United States title match. Chris Jericho taking on Kevin Owens, champion going into the match. Did not see this one coming.
No. Well, I did. I predicted that Jericho would win. I thought he was going to win by DQ, thus leaving the belt on Kevin. But interesting. I believe we'll see Jericho lose the belt on Tuesday, which, depending on when this airs, that might actually happen before they listen to this. But he's going on tour. It's a real tour. He's going to be gone for at least a month. So I imagine he's going to drop this belt. Very, very confusing. But it was nice to have something happen that you didn't necessarily expect.
Right. I think like a couple months, or going into this match, everybody would have essentially just chiseled in Kevin Owens for winning this because Chris Jericho's going on tour with Fozzy soon, and he doesn't really have the time for the WWE schedule as it is right now. So,
and what a waste for Kevin Owens rebranding. He's got the Face of America entrance now. He's got the red, white, and blue trunks. So, I mean, imagine he's probably going to win the belt back tonight, but if he doesn't, what a waste of a gimmick change.
Well, he wouldn't have it tonight, though, because it would be Monday night, and he's still technically...
Well,
yeah.
I meant Tuesday.
Okay. That's what I figured you meant.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, and, it's not outside of the realm of possibility for them to dump into something, like, merchandise-wise, and it to not go anywhere. Case example, Y2AJ from about a year ago.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine if... I think it's going to play out because, one, with Chris Jericho still going on tour soon. Two, I don't see... Essentially because AJ Styles is playing the face in this feud with Kevin Owens as it is anyway, I don't see it being a straight-up face versus face. I could imagine a situation where they make it a triple threat or, Kevin Owens wins the belt back immediately. So... Yeah. So either way, kind of a cool little way to kind of get a twist in there. So, and it kind of continues out the feud for a little while longer.
So we had Big Cass and Enzo won the first match, which could have gone either way. We had Jericho win this match, which was kind of out of left field.
Yeah.
Our next match we have Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yes. Not the way I thought this was going to go either.
No. I assumed that Neville was going to retain the championship, which he does keep his belt, which I guess that was a way for him to keep the belt but give Austin Aries the win.
Right.
The ending of the match was terrible. I didn't like the way they ended it, the DQ.
It was kind of like having a really good 4-star meal and then somebody farting on your plate right at the end of it.
They fart on your piece of cheesecake as they bring it out to you?
Yeah. Like you're at Cheesecake Factory, you just got done having a pretty decent steak, and then suddenly somebody farts on your cheesecake. Like,
yes, that's what it felt like. Good analogy.
It was. I mean, and up to that point, I think, with the exception of maybe the tag team match and the women's title match, this was probably my match of the evening.
Yeah, overall, it was very athletic.
It was good.
Really, it could have gone either way, which was exciting too.
And it was super good to see the Last Chancery finally come into play. I know they've been kind of hyping that up a little bit going into the lead up, even going into WrestleMania.
Weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long time.
So we'll see this kind of drug out a little bit further. Do you think they do one more, like, third time and then kind of wrap it up after that, or?
I think we'll probably see a title defense on 205 Live. Hopefully, get some viewers on the show, because the next pay-per-view they got a whole nother month, right? I don't imagine them dragging this out for it'll be like 3 or 4 months now with the same.
When is their next pay-per-view?
Extreme Rules.
Okay, yeah, okay.
If I'm not mistaken,
that's in, I want to say, the end of May.
Beginning of June.
Okay, because then they have Great Balls of Fire right after that as well.
July. SummerSlam is in August.
Yeah, and then SmackDown's got their shows in between, which I know they have Backlash, and then
Money in the Bank is in June.
Yeah,
June's got 2. I think they're like 2 weeks apart.
All right. Well, I don't know if they're going to drag it out that much further, but we'll see. It'd be kind of I'm not opposed to seeing Neville and Austin Aries one last time. So
I'll give the match an A+. Well, not an A+. I'll give it an A. Other than the finish, like I said,
all right,
down a little bit.
Well, moving on, we have the tag team titles match. The Hardys defending the belts against Sheamus and Cesaro. I can't think of a bad thing to say about this match.
I think this is actually my favorite match of the evening. Hard fought, very stiff match. Sheamus kicking Jeff Hardy in the face and knocking his tooth out. Matt Hardy gets split open. The heel turn at the end. I think overall this was a really exciting match. And the heel turn was perfect. I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, no, it was. Hold on one second. I'm having like a microphone difficulty here. It's typical Audio Suplex Live fashion. I don't think we can do anything without there being like some sort of like a technical hiccup or anything like that. So,
way to jinx us in the future.
Sorry, man. It's kind of our style, though. It's kind of our quirk. You know what I mean? We're kind of broken.
Yeah.
So a nice little segue there. No, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. I think I didn't expect the heel turn. I know you would I think was it you during the pre-show show that we did on Sunday?
Yeah, me and Sean were both talking about that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I personally didn't see it coming, so it was kind of a nice surprise at the end there. I think it's going to do wonders for Cesaro, because he needs that kind of like extra little character push to him, because he's not a very charismatic guy to begin with.
Well, he hasn't been heel in a while, not since he was teamed up with
Tyson Kidd.
Were they heel though? They were kind of more tweeners. I would say Jack Swagger.
Yeah,
more of the heel.
With shouts out to Zeb Coulter.
Yeah.
So
Who's on TNA now?
Yes, he is. Yeah, no, I thought this was a phenomenal match. I thought the action, it was a very stiff match. Obviously, Jeff Hardy lost a tooth.
Yeah.
In the in the middle of this match. It's kind of funny, that spot too, because you can see Sheamus kind of like, he knew immediately that he had messed up. So
it was actually relatively early in the match, and Jeff wrestled right after it happened. He was in the ring for a while before he tagged out Matt. So I would imagine the adrenaline pumping it didn't hurt too bad, but
yeah, Matt
looked pretty gross.
Matt got busted open in the process. Now maybe I don't know if I'm alone in this, but were you watching with the intent of, where is the spot that they're going to use as the catalyst to usher in the broken gimmick?
Absolutely. I don't think the ending of the match was serious enough to actually push him over the edge. This might be a starting point. I think maybe we see a rematch at Extreme Rules, and that will be where we see the turn Matt Hardy into the broken character.
Right. Well, if it is, I personally cannot wait. So, all right.
I'm excited.
All right, moving on to the women's championship match. Bayley defending the women's title against Alexa Bliss. Bayley's hometown, in case you hadn't heard it, the probably 500 times that they had mentioned it going into the match.
Almost a guarantee she's losing since we're in her hometown.
I'm pretty sure Ajax and I are the only ones who called that.
That is correct, yes.
I don't want to throw that one back in your face.
No, that's all right. We can't all have perfect predictions.
So what do you think of the outcome of this one? Do you think it was the right way to go with this one?
Well, the reason I thought Bayley was going to win is I thought they were going to move into a program with Sasha Banks turning heel, going into SummerSlam. Although I guess we do have another 2 more months, 2 more pay-per-views, 3 more pay-per-views.
Yeah, still there's plenty of time for that to actually end up becoming the program. And I'm not opposed to it myself. Now, granted, this is probably the Alexa Bliss fan in me. I could see a program with her and Sasha Banks going into SummerSlam.
That would be good too. Bliss has been getting really good in the ring compared to how she was when she first debuted. She's made a lot of improvements.
She was a house on fire last night. Now, granted, I think Bayley's a strong person in the ring for her to be in there with.
I think this was Alexa Bliss's best match to date.
You're probably right. Actually, I would agree with that. Not to mention the reemergence of the Iron Man gear.
Yeah, and she won with a DDT, which was great.
You
never see that anymore.
No, very
Dean Ambrose.
But even his has a little bit of an extra flair to it. Now, this was just a straight-up DDT.
It was a good-looking DDT.
Yeah, oh God, it was hellacious looking. So
yeah, face first. I mean, a DDT should hurt no matter how it's done. But
so, do you think they draw out the rematch with Bayley out to Extreme Rules?
I don't know. It looked like I said, I only saw the beginning of Raw. I think maybe they're going to be doing a number 1 contenders type match. So who knows? I think maybe Bayley will take a back seat, possibly for a while.
I think they need to take a back seat with Bayley a little bit, if only to kind of reassess her character and the way that she's connecting with the audience. Because, with the exception of last night, obviously being her hometown, she has not been getting the receptions that you would kind of expect your top babyface on your brand to be getting.
Yeah, I mean, she did get the biggest pop for her entrance last night, but she's also the only wrestler on the roster from San Antonio. Or not San Antonio, San Jose?
San Jose.
California. Okay, yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, so then we move into the first half of the the House of Horrors match, or as I like to call it, the Dilapidated House.
Yeah, what an interesting thing that we had to watch.
It was maybe it's because I was on Twitter last night and I was having more fun watching people's reactions to the match than I actually was watching the match itself, and I use the word match very loosely, but I don't know, man. I had fun with the first half of it. I mean, obviously, let's start off with who rides in a limousine, completely
without the shirt on. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. He's wearing jeans, black jeans and no shirt.
Yeah, no, I've only been in a limousine a handful of times in my life, and I'm trying to remember, but I don't ever once recall no shirt and black skinny jeans being kind of like the thing in there.
I mean, I've done that a couple times, but I wouldn't say it's normal.
No, definitely not. So, kind of interesting. The house, outside of the spooky room with all the doll parts kind of laying around, it wasn't really so much like spooky looking. It was more just kind of dilapidated. Like, it just kind of looked like, for all intents and purposes, a crack house. Like,
yeah, like your I was gonna say like my great aunt's house.
Yeah,
I don't have a great aunt that I could think of, but like a I don't know. Yeah, a crack house is a good assessment.
You know how at the end of like TV shows when they show like filmed in Detroit or something like that, I was literally waiting for like filmed in Detroit to pop up on the
I believe it was filmed in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. I actually
that
saw
house that they filmed it in is for sale.
I saw that. I saw somebody had actually found like the Zillow listing for the for the House of Horrors.
$36,000 or something like that for that house.
That's not bad, man. If you guys want to go in on it, we gotta have a nice audio Suplex live. Just
our getaway house.
Yeah, just kind of
Nice.
So it was an interesting first half of the match. They had to kill some time between that. One more thing before we move into the next proper match. A lot of people on Twitter were pointing out one of the things that apparently, like, it was dark out in the scenes that they had filmed for the House of Horrors match.
Oh yeah, and it was still like the afternoon in California.
Yeah, it was like 6:30 at night, and the sun was like still very much out in like San Jose, California. So I guess they didn't really think
hilarious.
that one through.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So before we get back to the second half of the House of Horrors match, we are then treated to Seth Rollins going up against Samoa Joe in their grudge match from before WrestleMania. Let me start with this one. I was completely, maybe it was because of what I just watched with the House of Horrors match, and I think I kind of talked about this a little bit going into the in the pre-show that we did. I just was not emotionally invested in this match. And like, that's hard for me to say because these are two of my favorite workers on the roster.
Yeah.
What,
I mean, overall, the match was all right. I thought the ending was garbage, but I mean, it, I guess, protects both of them the way it ended. You didn't have a dominant finish to the match. But it was an entertaining match. I mean, the guys put on a good match.
I mean, they would almost have to try hard not to, though. I mean, you're talking about two of the best recognized for their work rate guys on the roster.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me ask you two questions about this match before because I don't want to spend too much time on this, but
yeah,
where does Samoa Joe go from here?
Who knows? I feel like this feud's not over just because of the roll-up finish to the match. Joe's going to want a rematch that I assume he'll win. By nefarious means, who knows? Maybe Steph will come back, and that will cause Joe the distraction to win over Seth Rollins. That might even happen on Monday Night Raw.
Could drag it out to Extreme Rules as well.
That's possible. With the roll-up, I think we definitely haven't seen the last of Joe versus Seth. I think this is going to continue at least for one more match, whether that be soon or be at the next pay-per-view.
So then that leads me to my second question, which was kind of going to be, what do you do with Seth Rollins now? But it sounds like you already kind of have plans for that. My other question is, though, is Seth Rollins, like the character of Seth Rollins, kind of...
It's not working.
It's plateaued.
His baby face is not necessarily working like it did when he first came back from injury. I maybe time to switch him back.
Yeah.
I would give it a little bit more time, but I think he could make the switch and kind of play it off as like, I fooled you guys the whole time. I don't care about the fans.
Right.
Put him in a title match with Brock. I don't know. Which
at this point, who is even going to be your number one contender? Because on the pre-show with Miz TV, you have Finn Balor making his intentions known that he wants to go back after the Universal title, even going as far as saying like he knows who has the title and he doesn't care. He wants to go after it. And then you have, and we'll get to this with the next match, Braun Strowman is looking like it's a good possibility that he could be the next in line for a shot.
I would say the great new pay-per-view Great Balls of Fire, we will see Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title.
Does Strowman put up an actual fight?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good match. Brock obviously is going to come out on top.
But maybe
probably see Strowman versus Roman will happen again at Extreme Rules, where Strowman will go over again, and then we'll have our title match. He'll lose, and then we'll have Balor or Maybe Seth Rollins will
Right.
be up next.
Well, let's kind of move right into the to the main event of the evening. Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. I think it was.
Well, do you want to talk about the finish of the House of Horrors match?
Okay, so let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So the finish is they make it back to the arena, which, I mean, obviously Bray Wyatt gets in the limo. He has an excuse for being back in the arena. I don't even know how Randy Orton got back.
Uber.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Maybe Lyft. I think Lyft's more prominent out in California.
I would hate to imagine what the swarm charges are on for something like that, because a lot of people coming in and out of the arena. And
that's true.
Yeah, he's Randy Orton though. He's the WWE champion. He can afford it.
That is also true.
So, yeah, so they get back to the arena finally, and then Bray Wyatt does a spooky thing, appears in the ring, and then lights come on, and guess who's right behind him? Randy Orton. Randy Orton has made it back in time to beat the ever-living tar out of Bray Wyatt for the second half of the House of Horrors match. This goes on for quite a while. It's pretty much all Randy in the second half.
Rightfully so. I mean, Bray beat the crap out of him the entire first half of the match.
Let's talk about the finish here, because we get about maybe 2/3 of the way into the second half of the match, and then out of nowhere, the newly christened Singh brothers, formerly the Bollywood Boys, come out just like they have been on SmackDown for the last couple weeks and throw their interference in against Randy Orton, basically leading up to Jinder Mahal coming out and leveling him with the belt.
I thought this might be a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not shocked by it, but here's my biggest beef with this, and you know exactly what I'm going to say here.
Yeah.
This doesn't do Bray Wyatt any favors.
Well, he gets the win. He can brag about it.
But
it's really more of a push for Jinder Mahal.
And that's all.
Continuing that feud.
That's fine and well and all, but you have SmackDown episodes between now and then to continue that feud. What I wanted to see out of this was a true, like, if you're going to move Bray Wyatt over to another brand to kind of give him that restart, let him get a clean victory over Randy, so that way he has some momentum going into his new role on Raw.
You need to remember that Bray Wyatt has never been properly pushed, and he's never won any program against anybody. He's always ends up being the loser, and it's happened every single time. Every feud he's been in.
It's to the point where we should probably know better at this point. We should probably just kind of see these things coming with him, especially when he's involved.
Oh, yeah. Big match. Don't expect Bray to necessarily. I mean, the fact that he won the world title in the Elimination Chamber match was a surprise, but you should never bet any money on Bray winning a big match.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this poor dude. He has all the potential in the world, too. This is a conversation that's been had for years and years and years now with Bray Wyatt, but
I wouldn't mind seeing Bray Wyatt in a program with Braun Strowman coming up soon. I think that would be interesting storytelling where, we can have Bray trying to seduce Braun Strowman again. The only downside of that is I don't imagine him winning that program either. So
it would not be good for him at all. It would just be an absolute disaster. If you mean to tell me that Roman Reigns, who has been booked as one of the most strongest people on the roster in quite some time, can't hold his own against Braun Strowman, what chances does Bray Wyatt have?
Bray Wyatt, yeah.
Aside from his sneakiness and his that whole.
I see Bray Wyatt moving into the Intercontinental title picture. Maybe we'll have a feud with Dean Ambrose. It looks like Balor is going to be feuding with The Miz as opposed to what they teased when they had Wyatt call him out. Looks like they've already changed their mind on that based on the Miz TV segment that we saw.
Could be pushing that one back into SummerSlam as well. That would be definitely a marquee match. There's a lot of people who want to see Demon versus
Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Well, you could see Bray Wyatt get the Intercontinental title. Maybe that's his. He says he beat the world champion. He wants a title match, so he gets a Intercontinental title match, and maybe he can take the belt off with Dean.
Yeah,
we see Balor versus Wyatt for the belt.
If he wins the Intercontinental title, does that technically make him a Triple Crown?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, interesting.
World title, tag title, and a middle belt.
Yeah, so there you go. That would be kind of a good move.
Relatively quick if he pulled the trigger on the IC belt here soon.
Yeah, because he had the SmackDown tag titles and the world title very, very close.
All this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last match of the night, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, your main event. This match was a lot better than it had any. Well, I don't even want to say that because they've put on good matches before.
I mean, you can count on Roman Reigns to put on a decent match pretty much all the time.
But Braun Strowman looked phenomenal in this.
Yeah, overall, I think it was. This might have been one of the best matches of the night as well.
Yeah.
I find it interesting. So during this match, towards the end, we see Roman getting pretty much destroyed with these steel steps, and what we're led to believe to have internal bleeding. He's coughing up blood. As the show goes off the air, he's in the back during Raw Talk, and he's coughing up blood all over on the back walls and the hallways.
Spits it on the wall there.
And if you look at the Wikipedia page for Payback, it's funny. It says the aftermath, so all the things that happened afterwards. It says Jeff Hardy received medical attention after losing a tooth, but there's nothing about Roman Reigns, who had his chest collapsed by steel steps. Apparently his medical attention is not needed to be listed here in the aftermath. I would think that maybe he would have to retire from wrestling after a serious injury like that.
So I read a theory online earlier that kind of posited that this might be an excuse to get him off of TV a little bit longer, to be with his family.
Maybe he'll come back without the chest armor.
That would be kind of amazing.
I doubt it.
Maybe versus.
If anything, he's going to get thicker armor.
Maybe versus D'Lo Brown in a armor versus armor match.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be great.
Oh, I'd pay hard-earned money for that. I'd pay $9.99 for that. Well, you would, since I'd meet you off your network. So.
Shh.
Oh, are we not kayfabe? We're not supposed to acknowledge that.
We're not allowed to share those.
All right. So overall, what do you? I think this pay-per-view exceeded its expectations. It definitely delivered a lot more than I thought it was. I was not very excited going into this.
I agree.
Gets me excited to get off the air here and go watch the rest of Raw, kind of see what's going on with that tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, I thought the pay-per-view was good. Definitely better than I thought it was going to be. Our predictions episode kind of got me a little bit more excited than I was going into it.
Yeah.
Just talking about the matches, but then having them play out, I think overall, a lot of hard-fought matches. There was no quick matches. All of the matches were over 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were, closer to 15 minutes for the most part. You had a couple of them up there. I don't know. I thought it was overall very good pay-per-view. Much better than I thought it would be, especially without a Universal title match or an Intercontinental title match on the card.
Yeah, and I still agree. I think those titles were sorely missing from the show. But I think all in all, like I said, I think it definitely exceeded my expectations. So,
yeah, I thought it was all right. I'm excited to see how this week plays out, both on SmackDown and on Raw.
All right, well, cool. Well, let's get ready to wrap this up. I definitely want to, obviously thank you guys for tuning in and, getting our thoughts on Payback. We wanted to make sure that we took some time to get this out there to you because we aren't going to be doing an actual proper live episode on Thursday like we normally would. So.
Yeah, check out our WCW recap show on Thursday.
Yes. We put a lot of love in that, especially you having to watch a WCW pay-per-view. So
yeah, I had to sacrifice a lot.
So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Make sure you guys check us out Thursday, and then get at us on Audio Suplex Live on Facebook, on Twitter. Get at Corey at heel_Corey. Sorry, I did your Twitter handle for you. You can get at me at XDrTX, and we will hear from you guys on Thursday.
Yeah, see you guys.
Take it easy.
Hey guys, we would like to thank the band Wax for our intro and outro music. You can check them out at waxoh.bandcamp.com. You have been listening to the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.